Welcome to another episode of GlideChat. My name is Michael Lombardo, CEO and founder of GlideFast. Today I'm sitting with Giuseppe Giardina, the operations manager at GlideFast. Giuseppe, how are you?
Great. How are you doing today?
Great, man. It's not Friday, but it kind of feels like Friday a little bit,
Pretty
right? It's
close.
Thursday. It's Thursday. We're almost there. You know, you and I have known each other a long time. We go way back to our school days at Europe, right?
Yep.
And man, we've come a long way. First of all, I just want to say how proud I am of you, and thank you for being there to push me. You know, we pushed each other, right? We were a big part of always making sure we were on time, making sure we were getting our work done, and I value our friendship that we built over the years.
I appreciate that.
You're basically running a managed services project where you have a team of how many people?
Well, we got about 40 to 50 people on the project, but I
Wow.
got a good about 15 people that report to me directly.
Okay.
We have different tiers broken down, so I basically manage the tier 1 and tier 2 portions of our team.
And it's basically a 24/7 support for this
Yes, it is.
customer, a large customer. And basically, like, what's your day-to-day responsibilities? Like, are you making sure, like, what's your responsibilities?
Basically, maintaining we have set up as tasks and URs that come into our queue. And we have each tier that we assign these tickets to so we can review and support all our tenants, which we have started with about 60. We're well over 100 now, so that
Wow.
continues to grow. Our team has been continuing to grow as well for the additional support, but basically we just maintain the daily functionality of the product and the application and all the different apps that we're just running and supporting every day.
All on ServiceNow.
Yeah.
And what's a tenant? Like, what is a tenant?
The tenant is basically just another name for a customer.
Okay.
They basically utilize the applications.
Oh, okay.
And whenever they run into any type of issues or configurations,
Challenges and stuff like that.
they reach out to us and they'll open up that support ticket, which is what we refer to as a task or a UR. And that's what gets dispersed out to my team. And I basically just make sure that everyone is on top of
Get response and getting issues resolved, right?
making sure they're following up with the tenants in a timely fashion and
Yeah.
make sure we could just get them resolved ASAP, basically. So the platform is just running up to par with no issues.
And listen, like when I first, because this was when we first started this a couple of years ago, this was like our first project of this kind, 24/7 support and SLAs and all that. I swear to God, like when we got that, like your name just, I'm like, oh my God, this is Joey. I need Joey for this role to lead this, because to me, there's nobody more responsible, responsive. I mean, you said it the other day, huh? Dedicated. I mean, you said it the other day. You're like, Mike, just so you know, I haven't like taken a sick day since I started 2 years ago, and like, which is not healthy either. You need to take a couple of, some vacation and stuff, but you're just so committed, dedicated, and reliable. I think that's like your strongest trait is reliability.
Well, and I think that is fortunately what brought this great opportunity for me, and that's why I probably resonate on your mind with this project.
Yeah.
I know there's a big responsibility with it and making sure it's running 24/7. And I was up for the challenge. It's something I strive for. It's what keeps me going.
That's great. And then, so before you came to GlideFast, you were at a large financial firm, running help desk for, I mean, you were there for what, 10 years?
15 years.
15 years.
Yes.
Wow. That's unbelievable. And what was your main responsibilities there?
Well, I started off as just a regular help desk employee 15 years ago. And then I worked my way up to team lead.
Yeah.
And then we, at one point, decided to integrate our help desk with desktop support and morph into a much larger team. And then at probably like the last 5 years is when we started working more with Operations Center just to align everything into one big unit.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I was doing my last couple of years there, just basically being the team lead for the help desk, desktop support, and our Operations Center.
That's awesome. Yeah. And like, you just so look like 15 years. Like that's like the loyalty, dedication you have, right? Of just being there. And wow. So what are some of the things you've learned over the last couple of years of, because that's like it's like obviously a big change, a big step in your career, coming to GlideFast, leading the team, and obviously a lot of new things. So like what are some of the things you've learned?
The biggest thing is it allowed me the opportunity to show that I can be a real leader. Even though I was doing that at my previous employment, I wasn't really given the opportunity to make real decisions for the team.
Yeah.
It was more, I was a little held back. So with this great opportunity, I felt that I could really show my full skills of how I could be a leader and continue to grow, because it also made me realize I do want to be a leader, and I want to continue to grow in that path. I mean, I love technology. That's what got me here. But I definitely see myself growing into much more of a leader for my team and just for the company in general.
That's awesome. And I love hearing you talk about your team, because you're like,
I love my team.
Yeah.
They're great. I was blessed that the way I put it, especially as Mike said, where we were sort of thrown into this project, put together, it was definitely, jumped in the ocean, but had no problem just swimming to the shore. And my whole team, really has just been backing us up the whole time. They've done a great job. I have no complaints in that department. They've really helped, because without a good team, it doesn't matter how good of a leader you are.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. There's such like a thing about strength in numbers. You know what I mean? Like if 4 individual people are trying to do something, like versus 4 people working together to do something, like, I'm trying to find like, I'm doing, for knowledge coming up in GlideFast, I got a big keynote for our company, and I'm trying to find like an image or something that like explains that, what we were just talking about, like how like GlideFast is special because like the team is working together to push the rock, rather than one person at a time to push this big rock up the hill or something like that.
One thing I'd have to say, and most people will be like, oh, he's just saying that, but I really found team actually means something at this company.
Yeah.
I really believe that, because working at my previous employment and other jobs, team gets thrown around so easily.
Yeah.
And I really feel here that I've had many times had to rely on my team members rely on me, and when we say team, it actually means team. It makes a big difference.
It's like we're going to battle together, you know what I mean? And it is a battle. Like it's not easy dealing with all the amount of requests and problems that come up, right? And making sure there's you're meeting your SLAs, and same thing with me. Like I try to be involved in as much as I can, and I try to help as many people, but there's sometimes like I need help. I need to help others. Other people are coming to me for help. And it's like, just knowing that you have somebody there when you need it. And, it's special. And, I've worked at other places where, it wasn't as real. Like it's real here, good or bad, by the way. Like the good is real and the bad is real too. Like, or the things that need improvement. And we're always working on trying to get better.
And that's something definitely you could quote me on. Like all my one-on-ones, any meetings I have with any of my team members, I stress the word team and how we actually really utilize it, and to appreciate that and use the team. And that's what we have our resources for. That's the great thing. People that aren't on the same project as us, we still work as a much larger team. You put something in our chat that one of our 400 employees sees, and even though they're not on that project, they may know an answer or a tip. They'll jump right in there and help you. And that doesn't help their project or anything. Just the willingness to go and do that because they're another GlideFast team member.
Exactly.
It shows that they really do care.
We help each other. You know what I mean? And that way, when that person needs somebody's there to help them, right? And I think that's what makes us unique. But what's something you learned back when we were in school at the nonprofit called Year Up, not Year Up, which everybody always got that confused.
We can say that, right? I can say Year Up on here.
Yeah, we can say Year Up. We can say Year Up. Shout out Year Up. And
great program.
Unbelievable. Shout out Gerald. We love Gerald, the founder and CEO. What's something you learned all the way back then? I mean, I was 19. You were like 21, right? Like, what's something you learned all the way back then that you've carried over even to today?
I would say the most important thing, two things, was professionalism and punctuality.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned that, I mean, something as simple as a good, solid handshake, willing to be on time, knowing how to sometimes dress professionally for certain situations. I mean, could just go light years ahead. Like the biggest thing that stuck with me is the punctuality. Just to being reliable, to know when there's certain deadlines, certain times that you have to be there for, and to be accountable. It really goes a long way, and it shows your dedication.
The difference of wearing a shirt with the collar on it versus a t-shirt, it's just a little bit more, but it goes a long way. Like people, okay, you just have a certain level of respect, and that's what Europe taught us, right? I'm totally with you on those two. Being punctual was a big thing, right? We never wanted to get an infraction. Dressing up the right way, that was, and we loved doing that, by the way. We loved getting on the train, going to Boston, dressing up, being on time, and then the network was, I would say, if I had a third, like how important your network was, and just building relationships with people. And you know what I always loved that you used to say, or you said a couple of times, and I say that now when I go back and talk to Europe students and even other people like I'm mentoring. And you used to say, at work, I'm Clark Kent, and then I get to go home and be Superman. What did you mean by that?
Well, basically, I mean, to know when to separate your work life from your own life. And I mean, I think everyone is like a superhero. I mean, in reality, in reality, I mean,
whatever it is you do, right?
You could be Superman, Batman, but there's always a Clark Kent and a Bruce Wayne, and there's a time and a place for everything. And at work is, I mean, when you may have to be Clark Kent or Bruce Wayne, but when you're done with work and you're on your free time, you could be Superman or Batman. And I mean, because basically Superman or Batman is the real me or you. Clark Kent is
the professional
glasses
version.
And that shirt and tie you're going to put on to go to work. And it's okay to do that and to separate. It doesn't mean you're one or the other. You can be both. But just know when to separate your professional life from your personal life.
And I always like kind of envy that you, because I'm such like an open book to a fault, right? And not that like you're dishonest or anything, but like I just remember you saying like, Mike, the people that I work with just think I'm like into work and like drawing, and like that's it. They don't know like anything. And it's not like you're out robbing banks at night or something, but you want your brand, right? Talking about personal brand, like you want your brand at work to be, Joey's this hard worker. And, I think he just goes home at night and thinks about working, and like, we know he's going to be there on time early the next day, and he's going to stay late. Like that's what you want your work, and that's your work life. Like, this is my work life and this is my personal life. Like sometimes I struggle with separating the two, but I think it's real important for people coming up in their careers to know that go to work, be Clark Kent, be Bruce Wayne, get your job done, and then go home and be Superman, Batman, have
fight
fun.
Crime.
Yeah, exactly. So what's next for you, Joe, at GlideFast? What, I know you love the leadership path. Where do you see yourself growing into?
I mean, sky's the limit. So I don't know. I really, really am gearing towards just continue to grow in this leadership path. I mean, I look forward to having more people under my wing, more responsibility.
Sky's the limit.
Pretty much. I mean,
love it.
To the moon.
To the moon, baby. All right. Thanks for joining me, Joey, and thank you for joining me, audience. And make sure you like and subscribe on our videos and tune into the next episode.